So this is part of my review on the CEC enclosures. They selling them for all the razors on Facebook Marketplace. I bought mine a couple of weeks ago before I went to West Virginia. I was in West Virginia 4 days. I looked at the weather. It was gonna be in the highs of 40s and the lows of 20s. I already had a front windshield glass, a back windshield, plexiglass or whatever they call it, polybicarbonate, but I already had that on there. So the CEC enclosure, since I had the back glass already, it cost me $370. If you don't have the back glass to go all the way around, it's gonna cost you $470. So when I put it on, I was excited. And when I got to West Virginia, didn't know that the problems I would have. And I already recorded a video, like I said in my other video, if you watched that already, and you can see the issues I had. So, I mean, I was skeptical about, putting holes in my razor. I didn't want to do it. But when you're putting it together, it was fairly easy to do. But those right there are self-tapping buttons or button tabs. So I figured when it's off, you'll just see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one here, 5. But when you're inside it, I'll show you. The zipper, I had issues with it. I text the guy. But just like they show in the video, right now, you can do it with one hand. It glides pretty simple. It gets hung up every now and then. So my issue with it. Well, let me go back to it. You want to get in, you got to unzip it. Reach in. And then, like the videos, when they install it, you can unsnap it here, roll it back. And then you got these here, and there's another one. I tucked it on the inside, but you just pull it out, you unroll it back. Excuse me. You unroll it back, and you can snap it back to itself to keep it back, so you can have all this open. So my issues, I was in West Virginia again. Mud was everywhere at night, 20 degrees, and I mean, I literally bruised my fingers. Trying to zip. I mean, there's one right there. And I went to West Virginia. It was over a month ago. Can't remember the dates. But I mean, just sitting in there, I'm fighting the zipper, trying to zip it. 2 hands trying to zip it. And I text the guy who sold it to me. Great guy, great company. But that's why I wanted to do a review, because I didn't see any real reviews of any users. So what happened? I'm out there in West Virginia. Hopefully I can link the other video to this. But I'm out there in West Virginia, and mud is everywhere. My front windshield covered in mud. I hit my button. If you didn't see it in my other video, I have a squirter that squirts water onto my windshield so I can clean it. But no way to clean this. So while I'm inside, I mean, I had mud here. Mud was all up here, thrown from my front tire. And I don't know if you can see the scratches here. But before I thought about it, I took my hand and tried to clean some off, and then I stopped, realizing that, that was only plastic. So what were my issues? Water. Mud is being thrown on the zippers. Condensation. Water. So I'm assuming the mud had got in here, the water, so it made it extremely difficult to zip and unzip it. Like I said, I was sitting there, I'm trying to do it with 2 hands and could not zip it up at all. The guy told me to try putting some oil on it, some kind of lubricant on it. Well, I tried that. It didn't help, because every day we rode, water was getting on it, mud was getting on it. So that's why I say you got to outweigh the pros and cons. All my buddies were on ATVs. My buddy here, he was on his Ace. We had heated gear. You know, we ride motorcycles, so we ride year round. We have heated gear, but I just thought that would be nice. So the pros of it, 20 degrees at night, I had heated gear, I never plugged it in. It actually kept the cabin warm. Warm enough that I didn't need heated gear. 20-degree weather, I had on a turtleneck and a light jacket and a hoodie. Then I had on some running tights and some sweatpants and boots in 20-degree weather inside the cabin. No heat. I don't have heat inside of it. I would say that is the only pro to having this. The cons, you can't clean it once you're out there. Once you get mud on here, you cannot see through it at all. And while I was out there, I could have unzipped it and rolled it back, but all the mud that was here would have ended up on me. I would have been wet. And now you're talking 20 degrees and a wet body, wet clothes. That wouldn't have been good. So would I do it again? $370? No, I wouldn't. And like I said, it's not knocking the company. It's a great product. Like I said, every accessory we put on these razors are gonna have its pros and cons. I've been thinking of a way to try to fix it. And I mean, there's just no way. You either have to ride and not be able to see to stay cool. Stay warm. That was really the reason I got it. But again, if I could do it all over again, I think I would keep my $370. And that's my review on the CEC enclosures. If you're gonna put it together, I did it by myself. It probably took me an hour. I had some issues here because of how my front windshield installed. I had some issues back here. So what I had to do was take my mounting tab out for my windshield. In some locations, it just run some Velcro through it. Luckily, I already had that. But CEC enclosure, if you staying warm, if you want to stay warm and you're not riding in the mud, say it's snowing wherever you're at, and you don't anticipate throwing any mud up on the sides, go for it. If it's a muddy environment, it's not worth it. But again, that's my review of CEC enclosure. Enjoy.